everybody, it's Kaylin here at Full Purpose and Heart, and today's video is a review of the curriculum called Little Thinkers. This is a social studies unit that is made by Karen Jones, and I have just finished the first unit of a series of units that she does. So I just want to show you what you get when you purchase this curriculum, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I think about it. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm going to start by saying that this is not a sponsored video, and Karen has not asked me to do this. I just have used this curriculum. I found it on my own and decided to use it for my kindergartner this year, and I really loved it. I've purchased 3 of her curriculum units, this being the first one, and it is about citizenship. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what you get when you order her curriculum. First of all, I think that this is the best product that you can get for your money. It's very inexpensive, and it's an entire unit that is covered for this social studies concept. So this one is about citizenship, and I've just really enjoyed it, and it's loaded with tons of ideas, and it's mostly print and go, and there wasn't a whole lot of prep work that I had to do. So just a couple of things I'm going to share with you. So first I want to show you, here is when you order her curriculum, you get a PDF file and a PowerPoint file. So both of the files come included in the purchase. And in the first couple of pages here, it will tell you what each of the lessons are going to be about. It is a 12-lesson unit, including the culminating activity and the assessment. When I did it in my homeschool class, we did it all 10 lessons, and then the 11 and 12, we didn't do the culminating activity, and then we didn't do an assessment. So we just did up to 10 activities, okay? So just so that you can see, the first lesson is about rules. She then builds on that and talks about laws. We talk about good choices and bad choices. Being a good friend, sharing, and taking turns. This is a friendship craftivity, which I'll show you in just a moment. Here we learn about working hard, cooperation, helping others, and being a good citizen review. All of these 10 have different responses and stuff like that, and I'll show you a little bit about what the lessons plans look like for that. Each lesson also comes with a text. Here is the list of texts that are in the curriculum, and I've put green stars next to the ones that are you can find read-alouds on YouTube. My local library didn't have most of these books, and I found that these ones had really good read-alouds. Today we just did the Mitten Tree, and so I'm going to put a green star on that because it was a good read-aloud, and it showed the pictures really well. For me, I rate a good read-aloud if it shows the entire book, illustrations. I don't want to see like fingers or whatever. And it's a great read aloud if there's animated book, or like the pictures are actually animated. And that is true for the Rainbow Fish and the Very Busy Spider, are both animated on YouTube with the narrator reading aloud. And I don't want any background noise as the reader is reading the story. So these are some stories that I have found on YouTube that I enjoyed reading with my student. Each of the lessons starts with the text and then builds off what the child learned from that. Okay, so then from there you have another thing that comes in her curriculum are some sample anchor charts. For me in my classroom, this just means something that I'm going to put up on my whiteboard. I actually have one behind me. I'm going to try and show you here without getting you all sick. Okay, so you can kind of see up on my board up here, we're talking about being a good citizen and how good citizens help. Anyway, so these anchor charts is just what I put up on my whiteboard, and she has great examples here. And I did this for almost all of them. I did create the anchor chart, and then a couple of them you can kind of see here. She actually has these included in the PDF file, so you can either print your own pictures or you can get these pictures. She has them printed in her file. These ones are like little faces when you talk about trying to control your emotions and that sort of thing. So great little helper, so that for like a visual help as a part of the curriculum. Okay, before I show you the lesson, the next thing that comes is each student gets a workbook, and you just print this off of the computer. You can have as many copies as needed for your classroom or for your homeschool, depending on where you're teaching. And it just kind of follows along with the lessons. So it's just like a follow-up, I guess you could say, of what you talked about actually in the lesson. And I really liked that as you go through the PowerPoint, which I'll talk about the PowerPoints in just a moment, but when you go through the PowerPoint lesson, it kind of carries you through the discussion, and then the last picture for each lesson on the PowerPoint is this worksheet. So it really helps so that the student knows, okay, that's going to be in my student workbook. Turn to this page, the page that looks like this, turn to page number 1. All of these commands and these cues can help the kids get to the page that they need to, so that then you can kind of assess their understanding and they can review what it is you just talked about. So that was like a really good plus with the curriculum. Okay, this is what each lesson looks like when you print it off. I've only printed the lessons in my little lesson book here. I didn't print off, obviously, the whole PowerPoint because I didn't need to. Saves paper and ink. But you can see she has the learning target up here, as well as the essential question. The essential question is the same throughout the entire lesson. It talks about what does it mean to be a good citizen. So the whole lesson is going to have the same question. The targets go along with whatever the actual lesson is, okay? So this is lesson 1, rules. She tells you what you need to do to prep for the lesson. This is the actual lesson itself. Here are the sample charts that you can choose. Down here is the independent work. All of this is going to be in your actual student folder that I just showed you. And it'll just say complete page 1. And then here's a quick check. The quick check is also at the bottom of the student folder. And it's appropriate for for kindergarten age levels and for those who cannot read. You can either have your child read the sentence and answer yes or no, or you can have their child read the sentence and they will know, put a smiley face if the answer is yes and a frowny face if the answer is no. So it's good for those varying reading levels, okay? There are 10 lessons, so all of the lessons look identical to this. All the way up through number, well, there are 11 technically, but with the culminating activity. But here's back down to the review, okay? Now, each lesson is going to have, like I mentioned, a PowerPoint activity that goes along with it. Here on number 5, you talk about how, now we're going to talk about some laws that we have in our city, and then it says you can use the cards or you can discuss with the PowerPoint. And on the PowerPoint, it'll just flip through a bunch of pictures. They're actual photographs, it's not clip art, of different activities that people are doing, and then you discuss with your children, is this obeying the law or are they breaking the law? Is this a law or is it a rule? So that kind of thing, conversation can take place. And she has it all on her PowerPoint, and it's fantastic. Now, we have a computer in our classroom, so it's very easy for me to pull up the PowerPoint and to discuss each of those slides and then direct the student to the student workbook at the end. So the last little thing that I will kind of add is she has kind of scattered throughout pieces of the, oh, I'm going to show you 2 things I just remembered. Okay, so scattered throughout the PDF file, she will have pages that are actual pictures that can go on a board like this. Now, I've just used magnets for each of these, but she's printed off these pictures that go along with the lesson. This is for lesson 10. We talked about being helpful, or 9 rather. We talked about being helpful, and we just categorized, is this a demonstration of a helpful citizen or a citizen or someone who's not being helpful? Good citizens are helpful, so we kind of talked about that activity. So that was really good. The culminating activity is to make a friendship salad, and it really is meant for a large class environment, which I don't have. You can easily do it with your own student, but I just chose not to. And it's a friendship salad where each student, or you just have a variety of fruits, and you put all of the fruits together in the bowl, and you kind of just talk about how you know, everybody is different. People are all different, but when we come together, we taste really yummy, and it's like a salad. You know, the world is a salad bowl and not a mixing pot. So anyway, you can talk about that if you so choose. In the middle of the lesson, there is a craftivity. So rather than doing this, then you make the friendship fish, and let me show you that really quick. So you make, here's the friendship fish. I had to run over and grab it. So here's the friendship fish, and these are just pieces of tissue paper. I've cut them into the shape of a scale. After reading the story, The Rainbow Fish, then you talk about what the story meant and what happened in the story. And then I have one piece of paper that I glued a bunch of glitter onto it and cut it out because the rainbow fish gave away all of his sparkly glittery fins, or excuse me, these aren't fins. What are these called? Scales. Yes, thank you. So the rainbow fish gave away all of his scales. So anyway, then the student can make the fish, and she actually has like a template you can print off and cut out. I just drew this with freehand, so it's kind of skittywampus, but anyway, the point was the same. So that is everything that you get when you purchase the curriculum. As a review, I would highly recommend this curriculum for anybody who is looking for a very simple social studies unit to start with their kindergartner. It was easy for my kindergartner. I also included the lessons for my preschoolers, ages 3 to 5, and my 2-year-old sat in as well and kind of she did the rainbow fish craftivity. And she just listened in for the other activities and stuff when we talked about whether it was helpful or not helpful, or good choices and bad choices and that sort of thing. So I would say this is a great curriculum for anyone ages 2 till 6 or 7. Really early 7-year-olds, and you can of course modify it for your older ages, but it's an extremely well planned and provided curriculum. Every piece is there, and I never felt like I needed to go out and supplement with something of my own material, which is huge because if you watch my channel, then you know that I'm always feeling like I need to supplement or create my own or make something more. So I would highly recommend this. If you are looking to purchase this curriculum, check the description box below. It's on Teachers Pay Teachers, and she has a lot of different curriculums that you can choose from that are part of the Little Thinkers unit. So this was for Unit 1, Citizenship. She also has some other units, and as I go through those, then I will they're all built the same, but I'll give you kind of a review and a sneak peek at things that I have used and found and loved as a part of those curriculums as well. So hopefully you found this helpful as you're trying to find some curriculums for your own little kiddos. Give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful for you. Leave comments below if you have any questions. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, you may want to consider doing so, as I'm often talking about curriculum, things that I have found in our homeschooling journey, as well as just everyday life and what's going on in our world. Right now we're doing our 2018 Elevated project, so if you have a need for a little lift or boost for your 2018 goals, check out fullpurposeandheart.com in that little tab that says 2018 Elevated, and you can kind of check out where we are in the month and how we're kind of going along with that project. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in another one.